3, 2, 1, 0.
Good morning, everybody. How are we all doing? Sam here, United People's TV. Tonight, it's Barcelona away. It's a big game. Is it the most important game this season? No, I don't think it is. Is it a big game? Absolutely, it is. Going up against probably the most informed team in Europe. Well, United are up there too. We will preview that game. We'll run through Ten Hag's comments, Shaw's comments, tactical news and updates from Barcelona's team news. We'll take a look at the starting 11, which we already did yesterday. We're going to be focusing on the game between Arsenal and City last night. To start off the show, there's going to be an update on new owners. I'll tell you what we're going to do later in the show as well. I'm not sure if you've seen the video that I've managed to find and put up on Twitter, Instagram, and Facebook about Old Trafford redevelopment and the potential options. We can do a little poll here later in the show. It's going to be a good one. It's going to be a big one. And tonight, look, we've been focusing rightly on new owners, on the Qatari possible takeover for a couple of weeks now. But tonight, we turn back to the football. And it's a big one. I'm looking forward to it. Who's down here in the comments joining in the show? Chris Hall watching from Facebook. How you doing, buddy? Dave Maguire, good morning to you. We've got Richard. We've got Ruman. We've got Charlie, Paula, Daisy. We've got Brian. We've got Collins watching on Facebook. Richmond. Peter, Gavin, Matt, Raman, Gungshi, good morning to you, sir. Vicky, I can see you there as well. Julie, Josh, I'm sure you're there, and all the regulars too, and all the. Hey, look, it's always a busy show, but let's start off this show here today. Can you smell? Oh, I'll tell you what, I've accidentally left that on the background. Let me just get rid of that there. That's a rookie mistake. That's better. Right? Can you smell that? Can you smell what's going on? Oh, yeah. That will be Manchester United being 5 points off the top in the Premier League. Last night, Arsenal's, we all knew at some point this season, Arsenal would hit a wobble. They've hit that wobble. They lost away to Everton. They drew at home to Brentford. And now they've lost at home to City. The game last night was a very good game of football. Clearly, two of the best teams in the league going up against each other, and City came out on top. Arsenaled, if you want to call it that. And it now means that Manchester United, right there, you can see. Same games played as City. We are 5 points off top. We're 5 points behind Arsenal. They've got that game in hand. So technically, they could go 8 points ahead. So no one's saying that Manchester United are title favourites. We are nowhere near title favourites. We're definitely in the mix, though. And whether you want to say it or not, right? Whether you want to say it or not, United are in the mix now. Absolutely, we are. My personal opinion, right? You can let me know what you think in the comments here. My personal opinion is that we don't. This opportunity, it feels like this opportunity's just come a little bit too early in Ten Hag's reign at Manchester United. We're 7 months into his first season. We don't have. Maybe if we didn't have, I don't know. Maybe if we weren't performing in the cup competitions. Maybe if we didn't have this Europa League. Maybe if we didn't have a game every 3 days. You can't complain about having a game every 3 days. It means that your season is going well. It means your season is going as it should be because you're competing in all competitions. But given United's weakness in the real squad depth, we do have numbers. I'd say we've probably got more cover up front in the attacking positions than we do anywhere else. So not from a striking position, but certainly on the wings. Can you let me know what you think in the comments below about where we are right now? We're 15 games until the end of the season. There's still so much football to play. But right now, as it stands, we are in the mix. And bear in mind, what was it? After we lost at the Emirates, I think they had 11 points on us. Was it something like that? I think it was 11 points. Thereabouts. Now it's starting to switch around. And I want you to let me know what you think in the comments below, because I'd be interested to see where you all stand on this as a community, because, that's what community is there for. Man, look at that down there, man. Alex, Vicky again. Thank you very much, Vicky. And Gungshi, all gifting 5 memberships each. Is that 5 memberships because that's how many points we are off top? Hey, look, man. You've look. I think that's kind of a fair comment there from Gary. Two different Garys, two excellent comments. Mate, the community is amazing. Oh, got something to announce for the members in a second, now that you've reminded me. You're saying game by game in the league. And it's pretty much all you can do, right? And I was, look, you know what the mad thing is, right? Think about this. Really think about this. From today, Manchester United have got 4 games in 10 days, including a double header against Barcelona and a cup final against Newcastle. And slapped into all of that is a game at home against a slightly resurgent Leicester. Wouldn't say it's the best time to play Leicester, but we're going to have that confidence at home, right? You have to have that confidence. I'm going to go down here and read a few of your comments down here. Daddy, you're saying would still be happy. Mate, I would be incredibly happy with top 4 and a cup. The goals for this season the goalposts have never moved. The belief has definitely moved because nobody would have expected this. And it's a nice surprise. I think we're a little bit further ahead than we probably thought we ever could be at this point in the season. But that game last night there, in my opinion, it throws it all open. And I could absolutely see City beating Arsenal. I said it before the game. I'm not trying to say I'm not prophetic because it wasn't that hard to call the fact that you think that City could beat Arsenal at the Emirates. I think City could just do the double over them. Easily. And it doesn't exactly put United in a good damn position. Out of the 2, I'd rather Arsenal win. You might think that's a surprise, but I don't want City to win 3 in a row. I really don't. I could probably deal with Arsenal getting hypey. I'm fine with that. I'd rather have that. Lesser of 2 evils. Alex will speak about, we're going to properly preview the Barcelona game in probably a few minutes. So much to run through there. Jammy, you're saying, what do these memberships mean? The memberships mean that you get access to the Telegram members only chat group. You get a priority in terms of comments being read out. I think I need to go back and probably redefine the perks. I want to give more back to the members, but that now that you've brought that up, it's something I want to say. A new perk that's going to be coming out for the members. We've got the new members only content that we starting probably by the end of February. I apologize, I keep slightly delaying it, but just so much is going on at this club right now. I'm finding it hard to do stuff like that. Something that I will do. So the podcast from Sundays, well, next week's episodes, the podcast is going to be taking a level up. Some good production coming into it. And I'm going to introduce a new part of the podcast where you can send in your comments and your questions based on the last game. I'll tell you exactly. You're going to have to go into the Telegram members chat, and that's where it all happens. You can send me your voice notes in there, and I'm going to pick one every single week that's going to be brought into the podcast. So if you're a member, that's for you. It means that you can feature on the podcast every single week. Yeah, I just thought it was something nice to do because I want to bring the community in. I thought that was a really good thing to do. So I'm looking forward to starting that. Nick, you're saying just a big up. Man, Nick, you've been here for a long time, man. Lovely to see you. What we're saying down here. Imagine, apparently, if you could say that, and I've seen quite a lot of people saying that. Imagine we didn't concede that last minute equaliser against Palace, and imagine we didn't concede that last minute goal against Arsenal. I mean, you could do that, right? You could easily do that, but I imagine every single team around us could do the exact same thing. There's no point doing ifs and buts about what's happened previously. It massively is about what's just coming ahead. And it's going to be, I mean, it's all to play for. Leicester on Sunday. I don't know how you approach this now, right? If you're Erik ten Hag, I know you're going to be taking it from a game-by-game basis. But what do you think Ten Hag is measuring as the most important things in these next 4 games, right? Got Barca at home. No, Barca away, then Leicester at home, then Barca at home, second leg, and then Newcastle in the cup final. We all know full well the cup final is a priority. Out of all the 4, if you're going to choose one game to win, you're choosing the cup final. But what about the Premier League, given what's happening now with City and with Arsenal, with everything being thrown open? I mean, I think you could fairly argue, and I probably would, that the least important games here, weirdly enough, are the Barcelona games. I think I would say that because we're doing so well domestically. I think that's probably where Ten Hag's focus is. But it's, I don't know. It's good, right? As I said, these sorts of conversations that you want. Middle of February, we're talking about the League Cup final. We're in the Europa. We're in an extra Europa League game, but the European knockouts are beginning. Even if it is Europa League and not the Champions League, we've got the FA Cup. We're still in that. We're third in the Prem, and we're in a conversation around the top. It's a good problem to have. It's a good problem to have. Ronald, as a United fan, I want it all. I want it all. Jonathan, you're saying Europa has hindered us. I choose the cup all day. I imagine Erik Ten Hag is probably the exact same. Erik, you're saying it's the Barca games. I mean, we all care about the Barca games. Let's not lie. These sorts of games are what, those sorts of games where you go into it with nervous excitement, like City at home a few weeks ago. You just knew how much was riding on that game. It's what made that game so special. Julie, with water is wet and Barcelona are in trouble for corruption. I think the latest accusation is they paid like 1.3 million euros to a company which was linked to referees. Anyone remember the old Juve bribing scandal? Sam, question: if we go and smash Barca, does that give us the impetus and fear factor to go for everything? I don't think we're smashing Barca, right? I know that hypothetically you could ask that question, but I don't think it's going to be happening. Barcelona, by the way, have conceded 7 goals. 7. In how about 21 games in the Liga? They are looking very, very tasty. And it's going to be a great game tonight. It really, really will. Quickly before, right, give me 5 minutes now. The latest on the Qatari takeover and any other bids. And then we're going to dive into a good 20, 30-minute segment on Barcelona from every single angle. Now, I did a video yesterday, which I think was the longest interview, and probably longest video I've ever done. And that was like a 15-minute interview with Ben Jacobs, sports journalist, works for CBS Sports. And Ben was extremely knowledgeable on Qatar, on the Qatar Investment Authority, on the Al Thani ruling family in Qatar, on the whole structure of the deal, the nuances, the problems. It really was a pretty fascinating interview. You might say that the content itself was quite boring, but it's so necessary to understand because it helps you get your head around it. So if you do want to watch that, I can't remember if somebody can you throw it in the comments down there because I haven't got the link. So I think it was a pretty damn insightful interview. Really glad I did it. It's a big up to Ben for giving me his time. And I think I feel like I learned quite a lot from it. Man, Qatar, they're coming for United. They are. Or maybe I've got to be careful there. I'd say Qatari investors are coming for Manchester United because you have to try and create that degree of separation. I'm not really sure you can. But the latest on it, look, this is from Matt Lawton from The Times. He's saying, look, Qatar, and it's something that I covered in that interview with Ben, and something I've covered myself, right? The Qatari investors are absolutely confident that the ownership of PSG is going to cause absolutely zero problems. And when it comes to, there's precedent that's happened in 2 ways. Precedent from Leipzig and Salzburg of, oh, look, somebody owning 2 clubs. Oh, look, both of them can play in the same UEFA competition because UEFA said it's fine. Precedent there. And also precedent in the Public Investment Fund who bought Newcastle from Saudi Arabia. And Mohammed bin Salman is literally the chairman of that. And the Premier League decided that he didn't need to be tested as a fit owner, which doesn't make any sense because it should have happened. But again, precedent. So if it's happened there, Qatari investors are just going to have the confidence that they are going to be able to achieve the exact same thing. And that's all covered in that interview. So if you're cooking dinner, you're doing something else, you're going for a 40-minute walk, go and have a listen to that because you will enjoy it and you will learn quite a bit about the whole situation. Because remember, tomorrow's the soft deadline. I think it's 10 p.m. I remember a soft deadline, as Ben sort of alludes to in this video. He goes, the soft deadline is there, but from a tactical perspective, there may be bidders that don't put their bid in yet, that they wait and see who comes to the table, and that it turns into maybe a little game of chicken, a little bit game of cat and mouse. Maybe not chicken, wrong one, cat and mouse. So maybe this soft deadline Maybe we're going to be waiting for more bids after it too, because the soft deadline is just that. It's not a hard deadline where if you don't put your bid in by this date, that's it, you can't buy United. It's to encourage bids to come forward. It's not necessarily to say that some bids can't come after it. That's basically it was a big part of the conversation I was having there with Ben. Man, look at that down there. Got JVD. I'm looking for my dad's Bruce Lee. That's a big tune. 10 points for the band who sings that. Very random. JVD, you've gifted 5 memberships. Absolute Don and Jay, man. Jay. I need nicknames for everyone. I've got a full army of godfathers here. It's ridiculous. 20 gifted memberships from Jay. An update on bringing people on. I'm in conversations with a camera operator in Manchester who's going to be able to sort of bring in some really top quality content that will elevate the videos quite a bit. I'm working now with somebody from on podcast production. That I'm going to be starting that partnership next week. I'm in conversations with a couple of graphic designers to help hopefully bring out more merchandise. So everything that you're doing, you're helping the channel grow. Steve, yes. Big up Nizloppy. It's not Niloppy, it's Nizloppy. That's one of those pub quiz questions that you just did. It's a good one. Anyway, this is a little bit of a random one here from Miguel Delaney in The Independent, saying that other parties with interest have simultaneously been wondering whether this is driven by rain and the Glazers to drive up their price. Talking about this, ignore that bit there. Interested parties are also bracing themselves for some of the publicity stunts that characterize the Chelsea sale, as business people look to use this huge story for their own profile. One idea taken much more seriously is that Josh Harris and David Blitzer will make a similar offer to Ratcliffe. And I've said this the whole way through. And again, this is something that me and Ben talked about in quite a bit of depth. American consortiums are staying very, very quiet here. They're hiding in the background. They're lurking in the shadows. At some point, that will flip. At some point, they're going to come public. And it's all going to be laid out. And then there's going to be some serious schmoozing going on. Some proper schmoozing. Some serious PR to try and win over fans. Not that I don't think that's going to really... I mean, I don't know. Maybe it will. But I don't think it's going to have a major impact on the state of Manchester United. And that bit there, of course, this is still a fear that we all have. One scenario is that the Glazers just decide to keep the club, say that it was all a fishing expedition. And of course, that Joel and Abraham Glazer somehow find that investment to buy out their siblings, the 4 other Glazers. Man, that... What a disunited? Probably wrong word. But what a fractured family that is. The Glazers. Horrible bastards. But there really isn't, in terms of the updates on the Qatari takeover, that interview there covered absolutely everything. So make sure you go and listen to that. And we're waiting for that deadline tomorrow, because that's when, well, we're really going to start getting updates. Disjointed is probably a better word to describe that family. But now, let's move on to the big talking point. An absolute scorcher of a photo here that was released of Erik Ten Hag walking on to the Nou Camp pitch. Dysfunctional. It's another word to describe the Glazers. Indeed. This was an absolute cracker of a photo. And I think it's going to be a cracker of a game tonight. What's your expectations? What's your prediction? In fact, oh no, should we do that? Yeah, I think we're going to have to. We'll do this down here. Predictions for tonight. Are you going for a Barcelona win, draw, or a Man United win? I'll leave that down there. That's going to be the poll for today. And look at that. Abby, you've just gifted 5 memberships as well. Man, this community is the one. Honestly, YouTube has to make a case study on this, because there is not a community like this. No, I refuse to believe there is. All of you firing in your predictions. Make sure you add it onto the poll. I'll head to that poll a little bit later in the show, and then we can run through it. But it is a big, big game tonight. Newspapers out there in Barcelona saying this. Again, it will be a magic night and duel of the champions. They're getting a bit hypey, and so they should be. This is the Barcelona squad. The big misses for them, they don't have Dembele and they don't have Sergio Busquets. Unfortunately, Their squad's good. They're going to be having probably, I imagine De Jong will be operating slightly deeper. They've got Gavi, they've got Pedri, they've got Kessie. Is Frank Kessie in there? He's in there too. They're not exactly weakened. Busquets might not be there, but they absolutely have deputies. And it's, I don't really know what to expect. I think because we've got this man in charge, right? Pardon me. Because we've got this man in charge, I've got absolute confidence that we will compete. Remember when we went there under Solskjaer? 1-0 loss, I think it was in the first leg. Went there. That was when Rashford hit the bar after 30 seconds. And we ended up losing 2 or 3-0. Can't remember. We were chasing shadows that game. We absolutely were chasing shadows. And that's a big risk of when you play Barcelona, when they're at their pomp, you can just be chasing shadows. It's a big pitch. It's a bit daunting. And it can be exhausting. Being without the ball. Chasing the ball constantly. I don't really know how United stop that. And I'll run through some stats in a little bit. That's yeah, of course. Yeah, look, you can say it was the same when Fergie played them. We had the 0-0 at Nou Camp, and of course we had that win at Old Trafford thanks to a certain Paul Scholes. And that was literally Barcelona in their pomp. I'm not saying this isn't Barcelona at their absolute flying best, but they are looking better than they have in a good few years. And I tell you what, United are looking better than we have in a good few years. And that's why I think it's a really interesting time for both of these clubs to meet, because we've had some up and down years, to say the least. Barcelona are ticking right now. They're looking really good. As I said, they conceded 7 goals in the league. That's absolutely mad. What's your favourite memory against Barcelona? You can fire it in the comments. Erik Ten Hag was speaking about it before the game. He goes, I think it's exciting to face each other tomorrow night because it will help both clubs. With such tests, you get better. Now, I don't think this is the biggest game of Man United's season. I think if we're looking at what they were in order of when they came, it was Liverpool at home. It was Arsenal at the Emirates. And, well, City before that. They were the biggest games. Barcelona is a huge game. But whether or not this season is classed as a success is not defined by whether or not we win tonight. So I'll say that now, because when I come on later on, regardless of what the result is, if Man United lose, I'm not going to come in here and lose my shit and start throwing it. No, I'm not. This is it is a massive test. It's a test that we didn't need. It's a test that we shouldn't have, because that penalty shouldn't have been given against Sociedad. Let me see what your favourite Barcelona memories are, though. This would be a nice little thing to do. 99 knock it. What didn't we? Was that the one where we had? Was it 3-3? I think it was 3-3 both games, and it was absolute mad. Helgon, I'll be honest, this is one of my favourite ones. That goal from York and Cole. I think that was the last. Was that the last goal that we scored at Nou Camp? I think it was. Josh, you're saying Paul Scholes, me and my dad in the Stretty end. Whee. Good memory, that is. Good memory. Sparky's goal. There he is. There's the shirt up there. Where is it? There he is, the shirt from Rotterdam. 99 celebrating on the pitch at Barcelona. Well, it doesn't really count as the same thing. I suppose it happened in the Nou Camp, though, so I'll give you that. We've had some good memories. What is Luke Shaw saying about the game? He said this. Go away. He goes, I think it'll be a test for us to see where we are at. The last couple of months have been positive, but this will be a different test, and we are all up for it. It's I think that's why we're all excited for it. I wouldn't say it's a game that doesn't have repercussions if we lose, but I kind of feel like it's kind of is that. If we get knocked out by Barcelona, we'll all just kind of go, that's a shame, isn't it? Right, on we go. On to the League Cup final. On to being third in the Premier League. On to the FA Cup. It won't end our season. But if we do get past Barcelona, man, the confidence will just flow and flow and flow. And I'll tell you what, as much as I've got confidence because this man is our manager, I can't wait to see Casemiro back in this team. Where, simply put, we are a different unit when we've got him in it. We absolutely are. And I've already covered it in my match preview and in conversations we've had. If anybody knows what to do at the Nou Camp, it's going to be Casemiro. And we're going to have to be tight through the middle today. I'm going to run through some stats from the Athletics, some excellent stats that sort of show how good Barcelona are defensively and exactly where they've been playing and where their qualities are. And we'll take a look at the starting 11 as well. But we need Casemiro and Fred to have scorchers today. You're right down there in the comments. Have Rafa Varane as well. And I'll tell you what, did anybody watch the press conference with Erik Ten Hag? I'm not sure if you saw this bit. This was a bit of a weird bit. It was my favourite part of the press conference.
Bona tarda, Laia Coll de RAC1. S'ha parlat molt de
Casemiro! La 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 la. Casemiro! La 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 la. Ni se lo cree che remate pateó a lo Bruno Fernandes.
That's one of my favorite videos I've ever made. I really enjoyed that. I don't know why. But Casemiro tonight, absolutely, he's the man. He's the man we're looking at. I think I said it in my match preview. You shouldn't really put too much responsibility on an individual. But I think tonight we have to. And I also think Casemiro can bear that responsibility. He can bear that burden, if you want to call it that. He can lead this team. And I'm looking forward to seeing it. There's a couple of super chats. Let me read these ones out. It seems like quite a few of you enjoyed that. And I'll tell you what, I enjoyed it as well. I saw the press conference. I saw him taking off the headphones. I was like, nah, I'm gonna have to put the Casemiro chant through that headphones. Sorry. JVD, you're saying it's amazing to see Shaw saying the same words as Ten Hag, like he is a spokesman for him. The team really feels like a team. Yeah, man. It's that there doesn't really seem to be any sort of holes. You know, the old Roman tortoise, the old defense that made them so fierce on the battlefield. They all linked there, the shields all together, moving as one. And if there was ever one hole or weakness, the whole thing could crumble. As it is right now, Manchester United, there is no hole. Or maybe there has been a hole. Casemiro's back to sort of cover that hole. I don't know. Let me have a look at your predictions down here, actually, so far. How many votes we had? We've had 800 votes. We've got 17% of you are going for a Barca win. 38% of you are going for a draw. And 44% of you are going for a United win. Now, that is some confidence that maybe I don't particularly have myself. Siam, well, that's a new name. Siam Maizi, how you doing, buddy? You've gifted 10 memberships. What an absolute dude. Let me see if I can pull up the 10 that you've gifted it to. Yeah, we've got John Prince, we've got AZ, we've got Subshock, Ubiscape, Erik, Donovan, Ash, Jovica, and Mega K, and Naeem. Man, absolute Don. Say thank you very much. But lovely to see you, dude. Isn't that amazing? There's new names doing this as well. I swear. Best community in the world. MUFC OK. MU. That's one of my favourite United chants. Robson's 2 goals. I mean, obviously, I was way too young for that. I wasn't even born. But I've heard from a lot of people who were there at Old Trafford that night. Wasn't that a game where Maradona played? I think it was. But yeah, this was my starting 11 prediction for the game tonight. Oh, dear, I've moved that a little bit. Let's move you slightly further up the pitch. I do think that Weghorst will start. I know that there's going to be quite a lot of people that say, Sam, we should be playing Rashford through the middle. We should be playing Garnacho on the left. And we should be playing Sancho on the right. And while I understand the logic, this ball is going to come back at this defense way too often unless somehow we can slow it down a little bit. We need to keep as much possession in this area of the pitch as possible. And I think the best way of doing that is probably having Weghorst in there. I'm not saying just lump the ball up to Weghorst, hope for the best. But I think we can absolutely say with confidence now, we've watched enough games of United and Weghorst, when he dropped into that number 10 position against Leeds, played a little bit deeper. His link-up play is really very good. He's not particularly offering much of a threat as a striker, okay? He's not getting that many goal-scoring chances. I don't think we've really put much service into him either. But Weghorst has proved himself to be a very good link-up centre forward. And that's what we need here tonight. We're going to need him to get that ball in these positions, receive the ball here, and maybe just hold it for 2 seconds and lay it off to Bruno. And I think I've already covered this. And then Bruno can look for those balls in behind for Rashford and Sancho. That's what we need to do. We're going to have to play smart tonight. We can't be playing gung-ho, right? We can't be going toe-to-toe against Barcelona and just playing on the blitz on the transition. We could do it. Ball's going to come back at us too much. We're going to give Barca too many opportunities. And they will score. Let's have a quick look here, right? Just to put into perspective how good Barcelona have been this season, right? This is from The Athletic. Big up to The Athletic. But look at this. The goals against, this is the latest seasons on the right-hand side, the red column. Goals against this season, 0.3. Look how much lower that is than the rest. Clean sheet rate, look at that. That is a piss take. 76% clean sheet rate. My word. That is insane. Absolutely insane. Tackle success rate, higher than ever. Average possession start distance, how high up the pitch they're winning the ball, higher than ever. How many offsides they're getting, more than ever. They really are this season defensively. And that's, I suppose, not something you really associate with Barcelona, is it? Barcelona, you think about tiki-taka, great football, incredible goal scorers, talent, attacking flair. Defensively, they're absolutely sound tonight. And this, I think, could be a bit of an issue, right? These stats here, it shows where, according to, look, difference to the league average. So that if it's a red color, it means on average, Barcelona are pressing in this area more than anybody else in the league. And if we scroll down here and we see this season, right, let's pull this up full screen. We can see exactly, let me see if I can pull this up too. Is that right? Oh, let's get rid of that. And here, we can see right there. Let's get circles. This is where Barcelona are pressing, right? This is where they're winning the ball on the pitch. So they're going to be putting pressure on our two centre-backs. So Varane and Shaw, they're going to have to be quick on the ball. You're probably going to have to see Casemiro dropping a little bit deeper. But also, this one I find quite curious. This is going to put some real pressure on Malacia. Or maybe it will be Shaw. Maybe we'll see Harry Maguire come in. I'm not going to rule it out. And I'll tell you what, Erik Ten Hag, if you watched the press conference yesterday and you saw that Casemiro tune, and you watched the actual press conference, he was keeping it close to his chest as to whether or not Luke Shaw would be playing left centre-back. Because it's an expectation of all of us, is that Luke Shaw is going to play left centre-back. There is a chance that Maguire plays there. I think there is a chance. I don't think it should happen, but I think there is a chance. Because United would be better from a progressive left-back perspective if Luke Shaw was out there instead of Malacia, right? It's true. So it's going to be interesting to see what Erik Ten Hag chooses to do. Because tonight, I think there's going to be one player on Barcelona's team that we are going to be watching for sure. And that's Frankie de Jong. And look how impressive. This is exactly, this chart here shows exactly why Erik Ten Hag wanted to sign Frankie de Jong. So far this season, compared to all defensive and central midfielders, Frankie de Jong has been holding the ball. Like there's only, I don't know who the other one is. He holds the ball for nearly 3 seconds every single time. Frankie de Jong is the king of possession. Frankie de Jong is the king of progression and bringing the ball out from the back. It's one of United's kryptonites still. Eriksen has been transformative in that respect. And tonight, I think we need Casemiro to be that dude. We need him to receive the ball and him to bring it out. But this here is exactly why Erik Ten Hag, no man, he loves Frankie de Jong. I really wouldn't be surprised to see United going back in for de Jong, probably with a big bid early in the summer. And say, Barcelona, don't fuck about. It's this or it's gone. I can't imagine we'll chase it in the exact same. And if we've got new owners as well, Erik Ten Hag he'll have a list of whoever he wants and we can probably go out and get them. It's let me see what you're saying down here. Casemiro hunt down Frankie. No, I don't. I don't think United will have the ability to man mark anybody tonight. You know how we had, well, who was it? Who was Fred man marking? De Bruyne. I think it was De Bruyne. And he did an absolute number on him. And it really quietened City down in that first half. I think if we did that tonight, we'd just leave too much of a gap. We'd leave too much of a gap. They just pass it around us and they would go straight into it. Maybe Bruno could do that. If anyone's going to be chasing Frankie de Jong down, it's going to have to be Bruno Fernandes. Fred and Casemiro will probably stay in the disciplined positions, but I would probably say that's going to be Bruno's responsibility tonight. You know, Ten Hag raves about his ability in defensive transitions and attacking transitions. I think you'd be kind of foolish to try and mark Frankie de Jong, because if you do that, you're just going to leave way too much space for Gavi, Pedri, for everybody else. But yeah, if anyone's going to do that number on him tonight, I think it will be Bruno Fernandes rather than Fred or Casemiro. Let me see what you're saying down here. Yep. As I said, he did man mark him out of there. And if you're saying if Bruno does that, yeah, he'll be booked within 20 minutes. Hey, look, you may be right. That's why I don't personally think that there's going to be a man marking. I might be completely wrong. Might be wrong. You may well see him try and quash de Jong, because he's pretty much, so far this season, I wouldn't say he's a centerpiece for this Barcelona team, but he's really helping make them tick. Warrelly, you're saying this. Do you reckon we'll win comfortably, though? Would be nice to go to Old Trafford with a 2-0 aggregate. Man, it would be nice, but there ain't no chance. There ain't no chance. I don't think, anyway. The Man United coming away with a 2-0 win. Let me see what the poll is saying now. How many votes we had? We have had 1,200 votes. There's only 400 of you who liked the video, by the way. It says 800 of you right this second. Bam. Drop a like on the video. Come on. 45% of you so far think that United are going to win. That's kind of a surprise. Is it? I suppose there's confidence flowing, but this isn't going to be an easy game. And by the way, for Ten Hag, this game in particular will be special because Johan Cruyff was one of his idols as a player, as a manager, and somebody who he sort of modeled himself as a coach on. I think this game will mean a lot to Erik Ten Hag. He'll want to go there at Barcelona, a place which has such links to Holland and Dutch players. He wants to go against Frankie de Jong and he wants to come away with a result. And as I said, because there's no away goals here, right? There's no away goals. Man United know full well it's just about, if we can come away with the draw tonight, we go to Old Trafford, and it's not a two-legger. It's just beat Barcelona at Old Trafford in one game. There you go. You win. That's what we'll be aiming for tonight. I don't think that we will be playing for the draw. You know what I mean? I don't think we'll go like 4-5-1, sit there and just keep kicking the ball and just that's not how Ten Hag plays. We will try and play football, but we'll try and do it patiently. I think we'll try and slow it down where possible. I think we've got to do that tonight. If we let this game play at the same tempo that we played against Leeds, home and away, I think it will run away with it. I think it will run away from us. I just think it will. DP, you're saying Bruno can't go on the right wing, as some are suggesting. Yeah, we've got no. I mean, you could drop Sancho down as the number 10 potentially. I mean, that could happen. Not outside the realms of possibility, because remember Sancho did play there once. Barca have to worry. Yeah, of course, Gary. I'm not going here saying, oh, look how good Barcelona. I'm so shit scared. That's not what I'm suggesting. But we have to respect the fact that we're playing Barcelona, who really are playing very well right now, and tweak. That's what good managers can do. They can tweak. And I think we've got to do that here, because this game in particular tonight, I don't know. I really don't know. I want to have utter confidence that United are going to fly away with it. But I don't. I absolutely don't. It's going to be a tough game. Vicky, you're saying European officials hate United. I wouldn't be surprised if that was... Oh, man, I'm bored of talking about the officials these days. So every single week in the Premier League, there's some sort of bookie VAR decision that impacts the game. I mean, VAR was supposed to be... It was brought in to help the game, and it's hindered it. It's absolutely ridiculous. Philip, you're saying, anyone know what's up with McTominay? McTominay is, I believe, going to be back for Leicester. That's what Erik Ten Hag said in his press conference. Doesn't sound like Martial will be, and there's a surprise. I think Anthony might be as well. So it sounds like both of those two should be completely fine for the cup final. I don't know about Leicester, though. We'll find out. If you slow it down, Frederic, Gavri, and Pedri will destroy you. Maybe there is no easy way to approach this game. There is no... I mean, that's what happens when you play top teams. It's not an easy game. You're playing an elite level team. But if United can click tonight, I imagine we do get a result. Jonesy, you're right. They will be seeing us. Look, I think Xavi said it when the draw came through. He's like, oh, fucking hell. It's like the worst possible draw for Barcelona. In the same way it was the worst possible draw for Manchester United. It really is one of the biggest games in Europe. Apparently, I've missed a couple of super chats. Let me scroll up here. Man, there's a lot of comments. Nick, sorry, sir. You're saying Barca will pay if they don't give Rashford enough respect. They know as well as we do that you can't give him acres of space when we counter. We just need those balls in behind. Barca will play with a high line because they're aggressive. They're looking to win the ball back in the opposition third. If we can play through that and we can have Bruno, or we're probably looking at Bruno for those balls in behind for Rashford, then it's a very different Marcus Rashford from the one who went there in 2019 and hit his shot onto the bar within the first minute. This Marcus Rashford, you're absolutely backing him to score if he is given the opportunity. Let me see if I missed any more up here. I apologize if I do miss them. I really, really do. I wish you could see how many comments that fly through. Rudy, there's one up there. First time in a long time that I'm not scared to play these top clubs anymore. You're saying Ten Hag has restored so much trust into the fans again. This bloke here, zoom in on him. Whoop. Not really much of a zoom. That was pointless. Ten Hag really has just got... It's just the belief, man. Look, as I said, we go over here and we look at the Premier League table. We're 5 points off. Arsenal have got a game in hand. We shouldn't, and we aren't, and we're avoiding conversation around a title race. That's going elsewhere in the media. We're all focusing on what we're doing, but we've got belief. We've got belief that this team will compete, just like we did compete and beat City, Arsenal, Spurs, Liverpool, all at Old Trafford, dispatched. And tonight they're at the Nou Camp with this bad boy in there. I'm looking for it, man. I am absolutely looking for it. God, there was I think I asked this on the podcast this week. Is the Nou Camp pitch like actually physically bigger? I think it might actually be a couple of, because there's like certain rules and regs that you have to fall inside for pitch size, and I think they might be as big as it can get. I think so, anyway. I might be wrong. You can let me know that in the comments. SS, you're feeling pretty confident down here. Kim Dilopi is saying, did you see the ludicrous display last night? The thing about Arsenal is they always try and... Who cares about Arsenal? Honestly, Arsenal fans have been speaking like they're some sort of immortal team already. Losing against Everton, drawing at home against Brentford, and then losing against City. Very immortal indeed. They've hit their patch. Hopefully they'll go there. Isn't it Unai? Is Unai? I think Unai Emery is the manager of Aston Villa, isn't he? I swear he is. Yes, come on. Unai Emery beating Arsenal at 12:30 on Saturday. Now, that is what we want to see. I'm actually away on a stag do, so I'm definitely going to get us all to watch that game. Hopefully, there's some Arsenal fans going. Andy, let me know where you're watching from. Apparently, it is wider. I think it is a little bit wider. It looks big. Think it's one of the biggest ones that the regulations allow. There you go. It's a big old stadium, man. It really, really is. I'm looking forward to it, man. I'm looking forward to it. I'm sure you're looking forward to it as well. Anybody got any questions you want to fire them in. I'll tell you what, there's still so many things I want to speak about here. What have I got up here? Yeah, let's do this, actually. Let's do this. We're going to get a second poll. I know you love polls so much. 1,500 votes, right? And 47% of you think the Man United are going to win. I'm going to end that poll because this is going to be a really good 5 minutes of the show. I'm sure that quite a lot of you would have seen this, right? There's a video that I put out there. It wasn't my video. Big up to BondiBot on YouTube. He's the animator who created these. And what I'm going to do is show you. I'm going to make a poll here. Don't put your answer down here until we actually watch the video. Old Trafford Redevelopment. Right. I'm going to leave option A, B, and C. All right. And then we're going to watch this together. There's a super chat there. Let me read these super chats out first. Sam, you're saying, what was Wenger thinking bringing Walcott on that early? If you know, then you know. Unfortunately, I don't know. So that's quite embarrassing for me. But look, all right. I've put the poll up there. Let's now watch this video. This shows what could happen if the south stand is expanded. You can see there, the roof is coming over. You can see there's now a tunnel over there. It's coming up. They're going to extend the quadrants. They're going to close that stadium up there and on the other side as well. And you can see Old Trafford capacity is expanded. That's option A. And that's expansion of current Old Trafford, right? Option B will be moving on to potentially completely redeveloping Old Trafford. And that is where this part comes in. Option B is upgrading. Let me do that. There we go there. So it'll be putting a new outer facade on it, a new roof, taking the original pitch, but really redeveloping the image of Old Trafford. Now, this one's definitely quite controversial, but still, it's amazing to visualize this. And I would say big up to Bondybot for doing this. Even if you don't agree with the look of it, and it very much is that modern new stadium look, isn't it? It looks a bit soulless, but it's a completely reworked and reimagined stadium. Let's see down there, right? And then the third option is C, and we know exactly what the third option is going to be. The third option is to build a brand new stadium. Now, I don't actually know the viability of building on the car park next to Old Trafford, whether it's big enough, whether it blah, blah, blah. I'm sure it's going down as a potential option. But again, this is being put down as the option. Building a new stadium next to Old Trafford, and I suppose reworking Old Trafford. Maybe Old Trafford could then be a place where youth teams play, a place where the women's team could play. I don't know. But that is option C. Which one would you think would be best? Option A, option B, or option C? The most radical, I suppose, would be that there. Let me pull that up there. There. That would probably be the most radical one, wouldn't it? Let me see what you're saying in the votes. So far, we've got 230 votes, and 42% of you are saying option A, 30% are saying option B, and 29% are saying option C. Now, Johnny, there's a question down there. No, Andy, that one there, that's option A. Option A doesn't get rid of the Munich tunnel, obviously. For a lot of United fans, and correctly so, the Munich tunnel was a massive part of that stadium. For me, option A looks the best, right? But I think out of all of them, it's probably going to be the one that is the least viable. All right. Option A looks at basically building on the quadrants and expanding the capacity, improving the roof. And the slanted roof is shit, by the way. Anybody who's ever sat right in the upper, you can hardly see. You can't see the away fans because of the slanted roof. Option A does keep the identity. I agree with that. But it strikes me as probably the least viable option. Like, we don't need a new roof at Old Trafford. Like, basically every fibre of that stadium needs modernising. All the concourses, all the seats, everything needs to be new. So if it is going to be option A, I don't think that goes anywhere near to the levels of renovation that would be required. And it's going to be such an interesting thing. Option B, of course, that effectively is completely redesigning that roof, bringing in a modern roof that you can actually, see the whole stadium, see the whole pitch from every part of the stadium. But it does look a bit shit, doesn't it? Let's be honest, right? You can't look at that and go, oh, I want to go to that football stadium. It's a bit soulless. It's don't particularly. I don't like the look of it, but that is the concept of it, of a brand new roof, a brand new outer facade, modernizing it in that way. And then, of course, option C down there, as we just ran through, completely and utterly building a new stadium next door and then redesigning that down into being maybe a training pitch. Keep the pitch there for the younger people. Garlic bread man, you're saying option B for me is Old Trafford means that hallowed pitch for me. Anything that preserves that but modernizes everything else. Option A and C for you. Mate, Bully, it's really the truth. Like, while all of us, I think, would love the idea of a brand new, like renovated, all sexy, all look at that. For me, I think it's the least viable option. There's so much work that needs to be done for A to be possible. Stam, you're wrong. It looks great. Oh, there you go. Apparently, quite a lot of people actually do love it. I don't know. That's just a personal opinion. I think modern stadiums really struggled to. I don't know. They really struggled to have individual identity. I think it's probably what I would call it. Probably the best looking one from the inside is Spurs' new stadium. I love that. I love that stand that they've got. Yeah, it's just, I think the Spurs one is fantastic. But as much as I think there's going to be a lot of emotion tied to option A, and let me see, is option A option A is currently winning. I think if option A could happen and they could expand over that railway bridge, they would have done that by now. Let's find out, though. It's going to be a massive part of going forward, man. Geez, the next few years at this football club, I've got no idea what's going to be happening. But we're probably going to get a new stadium. We're going to get new owners. And we're going to win the treble. Not sure if you heard. Maybe the quadruple. Get your suit fitted. Last couple of minutes of the show, I'll answer your questions. But yeah, the game there tonight against Barcelona with this man in charge, I'm looking forward to it. I'm really looking forward to it. On that poll there, 650 votes, 41% of you would prefer Old Trafford to be renovated and not for it to be knocked down. We'll find out exactly what's going to be happening. But for focusing on the time being, tonight is Barcelona. It's going to be a cracker of a game. My prediction is a 1-1 draw. And I think I'll be very happy with a 1-1 draw. As I said, if we can go back to Old Trafford with a draw and know that we just need to beat Barcelona next Thursday at home to go through, that's the position we want to be in. So tonight, it's all about staying solid, not conceding too many opportunities, and taking advantage of the space where we have it, because we've got Rashford, we've got Sancho, and we've got attacking quality. Sam Lawson, option D, get the Qataris to buy the Etihad, turn it red, and move it to Old Trafford. It's probably the worst super chat that's ever been sent. Sorry, Sam. Buy City Stadium. I don't want to touch that shit. I get what you mean, though. Bully, you think it's going to be a 2-2 draw? 3-0 to United. Jeez. Man, some of you are feeling confident down here. 3-2 Barca. Satisfied. It's satisfied. That's what I call it. You're going for a 2-1 win. I'd happily take a draw. 2-0 Connor. And I see that. I think I recognize your name, Connor. I think you've been a member before. Hopefully that's you renewing. 1-0 loss. Let's have a look down here. 1-0, 2-2, 1-0, 3-1 Barca. It's going to be a cracker. I will be here after the match. You know full well with my match reaction. I'm not going to do a lunchtime video today because the game's at 5:45. That's a little bit. There won't be enough time for that video to breathe before the match reaction comes out. So I will be back here for the match reaction. Thank you to everybody, to Jay, to Siam, to Vicky, to Gunshi, to anybody else who gifted memberships. You're all absolute incredible people. As I said, for members from this week, I'll go into the members only chat on Telegram. I'll give you the instructions. But after the games, if you can send me in a 30-second voice note, and it has to be 30 seconds or less, with your comments, your questions, or anything to do with the game or anything itself, one of you every single week, or maybe two of you, will be bringing you into the podcast. It's a way of getting the community in a little bit deeper into the content that I do. So big up to everybody. I'm going for a 1-1 draw tonight. Let's find out. Either way, it's going to be a superb game. Enjoy it. Nervous excitement. It's these sorts of games that we love in football, right? Take it easy.